Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy birthday to you, even if it's not your real birthday today. Because welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Isn't it great to be alive? Today you're watching me. It's fantastic to see you. Fantastic for you to be watching me. Glad that you are alive and happy and well today. Well, I know you're not happy. Let's work on that today, shall we? But happy birthday to you. Every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate it every single day. And how do we do it on this live every day? We blow out candles on our imaginary birthday cake. We make a wish. We create a bit of positivity in our lives. And we wish happy birthday to the people who are in my friends on Facebook whose actual real birthdays it is today. So, happy birthday to Gia, David, Marisa, Myrto, Cathy and Lucia. So how do we do that? We clear out our lungs, we breathe in 5 through our nose, we hold it for 5, and then we blow out all the candles on our cake and we make a wish. We think something positive. Remember all the good birthdays we've had in the past. And if you struggle with anxiety and depression, anxiety and panic attacks, this is really good for calming that down every single day. So let's do that, shall we? Okay, clear your lungs out. 5 in through your nose. Hold for 5. And blow out the candles on your cake and make a wish. Think happy thoughts to the people's actual birthdays it is, and wish yourself a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, whoever you are watching this. Fantastic. I should have probably mentioned this before, and I have done in previous ones. That holding the breath bit is quite important as well, because that allows the oxygen that you've taken into your lungs down here to get a chance to get into your bloodstream and let all the carbon dioxide get off your bloodstream. If you can imagine it, it's like when you get onto a crowded train. Back in the days, remember when we had crowded trains and tubes in London and stuff? Remember those days? Gosh, crammed into nightclubs and stuff. Gosh, do you remember those days? Wow, that was a day, wasn't it? Funny to think about those days, over a year ago now. But anyway, yes, crowded train pulls into a station. You can't get on it because there's too many people on the train. You need to allow those people to get off the train before you can get on the train. Just imagine that the people on the train that's your bloodstream, and on the train is the carbon dioxide molecules. You need to let the carbon dioxide molecules get off the train so that the oxygen molecules that you just breathed in can get onto the train, and therefore then take all that oxygen up into your brain, allow you to clearly think in the future. So there you go. That's why we do the breathing exercise, and that's why it's good for you. That's the biology behind it. Cool. So anyway, happy birthday to Gia, David and Marisa and Myrto. Don't know any of you really, I'm afraid. There's a couple of life coaches in there. Myrto looks quite interesting, coming from Greece, I think, by the looks of it. It actually looked like another friend of mine who's a Russian. I thought it was her for a second when I saw the photograph, but it's not. Cathy Ritchie, who I met on the Camino in 2016. If you want to read my story about that chance encounter, it's in my book, johnvdenley.com/Camino book, if you want to go and check that out. And Lucia Silva, who I think lives in London now, but used to live in Cheltenham and does something around fashion and some calls like that. So that's all cool. So happy birthday to all of you people. Happy birthday to the people walking behind me as well, along the pathway. So today we're going to talk about stop watching the news. Stop watching the news. It makes you feel miserable and doesn't improve your life at all. And instead, serve people more. Find more people you can actually do some real work with, and you can actually help, as opposed to watching the news and just imagining that you could help the world. And also fear less. I quite like the idea. I wrote this down. I wrote fear less as a kind of shorthand version of stop worrying about failure and stop worrying about critics. That's what I want. So I wrote fear less down there. But I thought actually fear less kind of worked good, because you cram them together and you get fearless, don't you? And that's kind of cool that you get fear less, but also becomes fearless. Which it's very obvious, but it was just funny when I wrote it down like that. And I thought, yes, cool. We should all fear failure less. Yes, I was going to say fear failure more. Fear failure less, because, as I've said before, failure actually is the building blocks towards success. So you build your success on failure. Failure is the foundation, and as you're building the bricks of your wall up to get to success, it's failure that are the bricks that you create, because it's testing, it's checking, it's trying things out. That's what it is. I'm not very good at this. Confession time. I am not very good at launching. You've noticed this if you've been watching these things for a while. I've been saying I'll put a landing page together for my 7-day challenges. I've run my 7-day challenges now 3 or 4 times. I haven't had many people turn up to them. I've had a couple of people turn up and then drop out. No offence to those people, they've got lives going on, but of course if you had 20 or 30 people on one of these challenges, then 1 or 2 people dropping out wouldn't kind of invalidate the whole challenge. So one of my tasks is to finally get those landing pages sorted out. For your critics as well, people saying your challenge isn't good enough, or you're preaching the wrong information and stuff. But I have people constantly coming to me in my private messages saying, thank you for the lives, John, they're really helpful. Yes, so and a couple of people have reached out to me saying, yeah, how can they work with me because of these lives? So that's cool, that's great. I haven't had anybody really say anything particularly negative about these lives, which is kind of cool. I hadn't really thought about that until just now. But anyway, there you go. So the Blinkist, the reason I'm doing the Stop Watching the News is because of the Blinkist book of the day, which is linked in the description. The Blinkist book of the day today is fantastic. It is all about how you stop watching the news, or actually why watching the news or consuming the news is bad for you. Creates stress. It creates negativity. It creates stress because focusing on the negativity is not good for your body, for your mindset. We talked about this before, about looking at things in the past and then dragging them forward into the future. This is a little bit like this, because the news has happened in the past. By the way, if you didn't watch that video yesterday, go back and have a look at yesterday's links on when is now. There's a video in there. It's all about like time and your perceptions of time. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant, well worth watching. Because you like watching the news, you're just consuming all this negativity, and people are telling you how bad the world is and how horrible the world is, and so all this kind of stuff, and that's not helping you at all, because you can't do anything about it. You can't be involved in it, you can't influence it at all. Well, maybe you can, but you're not choosing to, and if you choose to, that's fantastic. But most of that stuff, if you consume a lot of news, most of it you won't be able to do anything about, and you'll just worry yourself, and you create stress in your body, you create negativity in your body, and that weakens your immune system. It's not good for your body, it's not good for your mind. It weakens the way you think as well. And as University of California neuroscientist Michael Merzenich, I think his name is, quote from him said, we are training our brains to pay attention to crap. We are training our brains to create. Right, great. And as you will have anybody who's been watching me for a while will know, my 7-day challenge and what I teach in my programs is complete opposite of that. What I'm doing is helping you to train your brains to look for positivity instead of negativity. I'm using neuroscience, and I'm using neuroplasticity and the brain's own biology in a positive way to help you rewire your brains for positivity instead of negativity. I'm showing you how to see the good in the world and how to see the best in yourself and people around you, how to see people's different perspectives and stuff. That's all of what I do. That's all of what I teach. I help you to feel better about the world around you. Hello, Sia. Sia. In fact, I think she's from Los Angeles. Crikey, it must be, what time is it over there? 8, 9, it's early morning, early hours of the morning, isn't it, for you? So there you go. LA. Hello, LA. I can't wait to come and visit you, Sia. It'll be fantastic to meet up and have coffees and stuff. Must put you on my to-do list. That sounds weird, doesn't it? To put you on my to-do list. I have a map at home. And I have little pictures of people all over the world, people I want to go and visit. And I'm going to, there you go, it's not too late, is it? Cool. Right, what was I talking about? Oh, negativity. So one of the examples in the book was that if you're looking at the stock market and a stock drops by 10%, that makes you feel really bad. It's twice as they've done studies on it, so they said makes you twice as unhappy to see a stock drop by 10% as it does to see a stock rise by 10%. So stock rising by 10% should be a fantastic thing. Great, fantastic. Whoa, yeah, this is really good. But it doesn't make you feel more positive than the negativity of it going down by 10%. And it's like a double thing about that. When I do my workshops in person, my in-person workshops, I do this little thing, and I saw Darren Hardy do this, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Glass of water, that's your sort of clear thinking, positive brain, as it were. And then he talked about how you get and he did it with a can of Coke. I usually do it with blackcurrant juice, but can of Coke actually works probably better. Get a can of Coke, start pouring that into the water, and it turns it brown. Turns your nice clear white water brown with all this sugar and negativity and badness. This is the badness of the news pouring into your brain and contaminating your nice clean water in your brain like this. And then he says, okay, so that's it. Now you want to stop that and you want to reverse that. What do? Is you take a nice positivity glass, and you get a massive jug of water that's like 4 or 5 times the size of the can of Coke, and he starts pouring that into the brain to try and turn this mucky water back into white again. And you pour the whole jug in and it's still brown. Pour another whole jug in, it's still brown. Put a whole another jug in and it starts to get white now. It starts to get white. There's still a slight tinge of brown in there, but essentially you've the point of that is that it takes a lot more positivity to wipe out the negativity, and that also resonates with that stock dropping 10% negativity versus stock rising 10%. I think it probably is 3 to 7 times the amount of positivity you need to feed into your brain to offset the negativity. So the best way to get rid of that negativity is to stop watching the news, stop watching all that crap, stop training yourself to pay attention to the crap, and allow yourself to go out into the world and serve more, do better stuff, be more positive to the world. It's just so much better for you, for your family, for the life, for the whole world. Did you know the news only really started like in the way that it starts now, just recently? It's only been I can't remember how many years. It says it in the book, so go listen to the Blinkist book of the day today. But it's like less than a couple of 100 years or so since like news and headlines. And I think it was actually even that the time when it started turning into negative headlines was it was like literally in the last 100 years sometime. Somebody noticed that a headline on Time magazine or something, a negative headline got so much more coverage, or so many more copies were sold. I can't remember what the actual story was. Feel free to post it below if you find it and that sort of thing. And that was the tipping point where everybody goes, oh, so if we want to get more readership, we need to put more negative stories. And then they suddenly started putting more and more negative stories. And then they recognized that negativity caught people's attentions more. And why is that? Because we have a biological built-in system for looking for negativity. That is, as humans, we are looking for danger. Our bodies are wired to look for danger. And not necessarily negativity, but they're looking for stuff that's going to warn us about things that we should be careful of, that we should be fearful of, which is why we should fear less. And so therefore, when we see something negative or something dangerous, we go, oh, we must pay attention to that, because that's what we're wired to do. That's what, as human beings, as mammals, as animals, really, we're wired to do that. But we have a brain, we have the ability to conceive of time, and so we have the ability to overcome that and think consciously and make choices and changes and so forth. It's one of the reasons why we are the dominant species on the earth, is because we have that ability to think in time, and to be able to make choices about how we want to act and react, rather than just allowing our nature, our animalistic behavior, that's not the right word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean, to take over, our automatic responses to take over and do stuff. So yeah, so we need to fight against that and be the better people, have a better life, be more positive in the world. So okay, right, that's all from me for now. That's 13 minutes I've been talking to. I'm still trying to keep these under 10 minutes. Don't seem to be able to manage it, but I am managing to keep them under 15 minutes almost all the time now. I think what I'm doing basically is I'm trying to aim for 10, and then if I run over a little bit, it's okay. Whereas I think before I was trying to cram it into 10, it was terrible. I was trying to cram it into 15, it's terrible. So I think 10 is the way to go. 15 years ago, wow, brilliant. Well, there you go, that's a perfect example. CSC has just said, I'm going to read it out for those people who are watching on YouTube and on Instagram. CSC has said, I stopped watching the news about 15 years ago, and my health and mentality improved so much. Less anxiety, negativity and worrying. I don't miss watching the news at all. There you go, perfect, exactly. Thank you very much for your contribution, Sia. Happy birthday to the people whose real birthday it is. Happy birthday to you, Sia. I know you're going to bed now. Well, it's 12:38, so it's the new day already, isn't it? So here is the first day of the rest of your life, just starting today, because you've just reached Thursday, haven't you? But you're going to go to bed now and then wake up tomorrow morning. But here's a positivity little tip for everybody, just before I run out of time, because I've just been teaching this and I just recognised this myself in the morning, so it's another confession time thing before I run out of time, because I teach this as part of my 7-day challenge. Writing down 3 positive things from your day, 3 things that made you smile, 3 things that you achieved, and 3 things that you're grateful for in your life. Write those down before you go to sleep at night, and then 3 things you're going to do the next day. Write them down before you go to sleep at night, because I woke up this morning having not written them down the night before, and I couldn't remember the good things from yesterday, and I was sitting there just going, oh God, it's really difficult. And so it's really important to do those things before you go to sleep, so that when you wake up in the next morning, you can run through them again, and you can remind yourself of all the good things from the day before, instead of waking up this morning going, what did I do yesterday? What did I do? It was really good. Not so good. Right, that's all from me. Take care of yourselves. Love you all. Mwah. Send love out into the world. Find somebody you love and tell them you love them. That would be great. Thank you very much indeed. Take care, guys. Bye. See you tomorrow. Mwah.